Ellie. My driving question is, why is dystonia, how dystonia works, and is there a way to prevent it? Why I chose this topic is because my mom's friend had dystonia and I wanted to learn more about it. A few causes how you can get dystonia is by stress, infection, certain drugs, or even a stroke. It can be a symptom of which it can be hereditary. Symptoms occur when posed to dystonia, which can occur at any age. Dystonia is fatal in the overwhelming majority of people with dystonia. It does not shorten life expectancy or result in death. Dystonia does occur as a symptom of many diseases, some of which do impact mortally, but this dystonia itself does not shorten lifespan. Generalized dystonia can affect most or all of the body. Focal dystonia is limited to specific muscle. This video is over how dystonia works and a more like telling it how it happens.
My name is Bob, and I'm going to be here talking to you about the third most common movement disorder in the world, yet not a lot of people know much about it. Dystonia affects about 250,000 people in the United States alone, and it typically affects those who are in their 40s or 50s, but it can also impact children as well, although not as common. And women are about 3 times more likely to be affected by this condition than men are.
Thank you for listening to my Genius Hour.
My name is Oliver.
My name is Scout.
And today we'll be talking about how football has evolved over the years. The sport of American football was uprising in 1892. It stemmed from 2 sports, which are soccer and rugby, which had long-time popularity. On November 6, 1869, Rutgers and Princeton was billed as the first college football game. However, it wasn't until 1880s that a great rugby player, Yale Walter Camp, pioneered rule changes that slowly transformed rugby into what we know as American football. Among the other innovations Camp introduced were the 11-man team, which is now used in the NFL. In 1920, 10 football teams gathered in Canton, Ohio to create the American Professional Football Association, now known as the NFL. Right here, you're going to see technically what I just talked over about, but it includes more.
American football started out as a cross between early versions of association football or soccer and its more intense cousin rugby in the mid-19th century. Early history of the sport indicates there was no single variety of the game played, as some schools played only soccer, others only played rugby, while others played various combinations of the two with no formalized rules. The first in '69 between Princeton University and Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey, using a modified version of the Football Association's first set of rules, a game that laid the groundwork for modern American football as we know it today.
While a number of other elite Northeastern colleges took up the sport in the 1870s, Harvard University maintained its distance by sticking to a rugby-soccer hybrid called the Boston game. In May 1874, after a match against McGill University of Montreal, the Harvard players decided they preferred McGill's rugby-style rules more than their own. In 1875, Harvard and Yale played their first intercollegiate match, and Yale players and spectators embraced the rugby style as well. The man most responsible for the transition from this rugby-like game to the sport of football we know today as Walter Camp, known as the father of football. I put some of the questions in here that were some of the facts and what we talked about.
Here are some fun facts about football. In the early 1900s, football players would only get paid $100 to $300 a game. Nowadays, a player gets $2 million if he gets more publicity, but starting a one-year rookie has a minimum income of $435,000.
Some of the changes that they made is they moved the goal post from the goal line to the end line, which makes every kick 10 yards longer. They also made it to where you have unlimited substitutions, 5-yard contact rule. In 1912, the touchdown was increased from 5 to 6 points.
Hi, my name is Ariana, and my driving question is, how has basketball evolved over the years? The reason I chose this topic is because I like playing basketball. What is basketball? Basketball is a famous sport that has made a huge impact in today's world. Many athletes play this sport. In fact, some basketball players are legends in this basketball industry. How has basketball evolved? There has been many changes in basketball throughout the years. For example, their uniforms. When basketball first became real big, shorts were super short and most teams had different jerseys. And most of all, some of the rules changed. Like some players could come straight from high school to the NBA, such as Lebron James. In today's generation, you can't do that. Who invented basketball? In 1891, Springfield, Massachusetts, basketball was invented by James Naismith by throwing a basketball into a peach basket, which in today's generation is now called boys basketball. Basketball has been around for quite some time. Here are some old school players and a little bit about them. Wilt Chamberlain, a former basketball player who was drafted in 1959 by the Philadelphia Warriors, is labeled one of the best players of all time. Wilt has scored 100 points in one game and 30,000 points in his 14-year career. Larry Bird, aka Larry the Legend, was a former player for the Boston Celtics and led them to 3 championships and is titled one of the best basketball players. Spud Webb, former basketball player, won a slam dunk contest despite being one of the shortest basketball players, reaching the height of 5'6". LeBron James, a current player for the Los Angeles Lakers, is titled as a GOAT, aka greatest of all time. LeBron is 36 years old. He reaches the height of 6'9", and he has been playing since 2003. In fact, he came straight from high school to the NBA because of his talent. Steph Curry. Steph plays for the Golden State Warriors and many say he's one of the best three-point shooters. Curry was drafted in 2009 and has been working hard ever since. Kobe Bryant was a former basketball player who made a huge impact throughout his 20-year career with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was drafted in 1996. He was the 13th overall pick in the first round. Sadly, Kobe and his daughter, Gianna Bryant, died in a helicopter crash January 26, 2020. Even though he's gone, they still say some come and go, but legends never die, and that's what he was. Allen Iverson, aka AI, is one of the best because of his shooting skills and ball handling skills. He's played for 14 years with 4 different teams and is now 45 with 5 rings. This is a video to help you understand more about basketball.
Each team consists of 2 forwards, 2 guards, and 1 center player. The basketball game starts with a jump ball, or tip-off. The referee throws the ball into the air in the center circle, and 1 player from each team leaps up and tries to tap the ball away. The game time is split up into 4 12-minute quarters. The object of the game is to throw the ball into the hoop to score points. Players cannot step on the end or sideline while passing the ball to a teammate. Players cannot throw the ball out of the court boundaries. The ball must stay within the boundaries.
That's my genius.
Hi, my name is Paxton, and my driving question is, how did cameras and photography originate, and how has it developed through the years? I chose this idea because photography has been a long-time hobby of mine. In 2021, Ibn al-Haytham described a device which resembles a camera. However, the first camera that was recorded was made by John Sahan in 1685. The pictures taken in 1685 took up to 8 hours to take and develop. Now we print pictures. Printing pictures takes less than minutes. The next camera that was invented was a box camera. This camera was invented in 1890 by John Lucifer Limpees, the father of photography, which is his nickname. These cameras were sold around $25, which was a lot at that time. Now the cameras of this generation can range from $100,000 to $20,000. The price of the camera really depends on the features on the actual camera. Along with the camera, you need a memory card to store the photos. The cameras back then used film rolls. These ranged from $1 to $2. Memory cards a decade ago with 8 GB were sold for $100. Now 128 GB memory cards, which has 16 times that capacity, is around the same price. Moving on to the actual photo. The pictures on the film roll were developed with a certain light and liquid. The liquid is 1 part concentrate to 9 parts of water. The light is a dark red light, or you can just go into simply dark room. In addition, the film pictures are black and white. As for the recent pictures, they are colored, which depends on the printer you use. Now we can see if you listened with a Kahoot. Cameras have come a long way since the very first to the most recent. As you can see from the pictures shown, the images and quality has improved drastically since the beginning of photography. I hope you learned something from my Genius Hour on photography.
Hello, my name is Reed, and my driving question is, what is the history of Nintendo? Now, what is Nintendo? Nintendo has been making games for over a century and a quarter. They've made video games, but also playing cards too. In 1889, Nintendo was born in Kyoto, Japan. Their first well-known game was Hanafuda. It was based off of the months of the year. After Hanafuda came out, many years passed before Nintendo went into the video game industry. Their first video game, which was based off of a calculator, was called the Game & Watch. It was one of a kind at the time it was released. After the revolutionary Game & Watch, Nintendo tried to develop their arcade machines in the early 80s. These became very popular at the time. After the arcades came out, Nintendo decided to make their first home console, which released in 1984 to 1985, called the Nintendo Entertainment System, or Famicom if you're Japanese. It was a well-known and very successful console when it released. It also came out with a few well-known releases, like Super Mario Bros. After the NES, Nintendo decided to make another handheld console. The Game Boy, released in 1989, was unique due to its green screen. Fans of Nintendo were very happy to have another handheld console. After the Game Boy, Nintendo made another home console in 1991, called the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or Super Famicom. It was way better than the regular NES because of its pixel quality, sound quality, and other qualities too. After the Super Nintendo, Nintendo took a step into virtual reality games. Their attempt became the Virtual Boy, released in 1995. It wasn't really received that well because it caused headaches for those who played it. After the Virtual Boy's failure, Nintendo made another home console with 3D graphics called the Nintendo 64, which released in 1996. It was an amazing console for those who played it, and it sold way better than the Virtual Boy. After 5 years of the Nintendo 64, Nintendo created another 3D console in 2001 called the GameCube. It had more ways to play certain games and had many more physical parts you could buy for it. After the GameCube, Nintendo made another new revolutionary handheld, which was the DS, which released in 2004. It had 2 screens, one being a touch screen, and some games made it to where you could play it vertically. After the DS, Nintendo created another home console called the Wii, which released in 2007. It was another revolutionary console which had controllers that had a TV sensor, and it could sense the Wiimote as it was shaken or moved. After a few years and the release of the 3DS and the Wii U, the Nintendo Switch was released in 2017. It sold like hotcakes and had controllers you could take off the system. Before we start the game kit, here's 50 seconds of me playing on my Game & Watch. Super Mario Bros. This is for my Genius Hour presentation. So here goes. Right. Go to game, click ball. This is what one of the games would look like, but it's been retextured to look like Mario. These games were pretty simple. So the goal of the game was to juggle these balls to make sure you didn't drop them. Now we'll be starting the game kit. Thank you for listening to my fraction of history that I wanted to present.
Hi, my name's Corey. My driving question was, can I learn 10 words in Korean and teach the class 3? The reason I wanted to do this was because it sounded fun and I've always wanted to learn a new language, so I chose Korean. Have you ever wanted to learn Korean? I have. But I didn't want to learn a common language. When you want to be polite, you can bow. The reason is because it shows more respect, like when you say thank you or hi. The way you say hi is annyeong. Hello is annyeonghaseyo. Thank you is kamsahamnida. School is hakyo. Sorry is 죄송합니다. Bad is napun. Yes is ye. Y is way. Good morning is chunachin. Can I have a volunteer to try to say good morning?
Chunachim.
Good job. There we go. Does anyone want to try to say why? Paxton. Thank you.
Way.
Good job.
New word.
$3. Paxton wins cereal. Reed gets another $3, that's $6 in total. And Maddie gets $6.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
That's yay. There you go.
Thank you.
This isn't the one that you thought it was. Upgrading their cereal. And Reed takes another $37. Wow.
Thank you for listening. I had some trouble with most words, but I practiced and practiced until I got all the words down. I hope this inspired you to learn a new language.
Hello, my name is Braylee, and today my presentation will be about archery and how it has advanced through the ages. I chose this topic because of my love for archery. So, when you think of archery, you normally think of what I have over there, a curved piece of wood with a string connecting both ends and an arrow. But actually, the first thing they classified as a bow and arrow was an atlantal. This bow dates back 21,000 years and was used by the Aztecs for hunting. It was a spear thrower, decently long, about 3 feet. You'd set the arrow on top, pull it back, throw it, the arrow would go flying. It was around for about 30 years. It was actually used worldwide, not just by the Aztecs. Next, we had the longbow. This bow was developed during the medieval times. It was used for hunting and warfare. It was typically as tall as the person using it, and it's also what you normally would think of when you think of archery. It's about 6 feet. That's about how tall an average American is. Following that, you have the recurve. This bow was made shortly after the longbow, except it was smaller and easier to use. It also had a longer range than the longbow because the string was tighter. It just shot farther because of the force and the draw weight. It's the only bow with limbs curved away from the archer. This is what made the shot more powerful. After that, they had the regular compound. This bow was way more advanced with added wheels and pulleys, which heightened the force generated when the string was pulled back, giving it an even more powerful shot. This is the only bow that uses a levering system. This and the newest technology. Now, we have there's a major difference in how much we have advanced through the years. That is my presentation. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest.
Hi, I'm Cooper.
I'm Andrew.
And today we're going to be talking about what it takes to be in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps is one of the toughest branches in the military. They were first established at an inn called Tun Tavern in 1775. The Marine Corps boot camp lasts 12 weeks and contains physical and mental challenges, such as weapon training, discipline, teamwork, medical training, and confidence. But these are just a few. And if that wasn't good enough for you, here is a video from a former Marine infantryman.
Hello, my name is Mark Rector, and I am from White Oak. I graduated White Oak in 1977, and I still live here to this day.
At boot camp, what was your daily routine?
Typically, a day was a lot of physical training, a lot of marching. That's just part of it. A lot of weaponry training, hand-to-hand combat skills, survival skills. And then, of course, the end of the day, we would have about an hour session in the barracks with our drill instructor. That would just be a history lesson / common sense / tactical training type stuff before we were able to take showers, get ready for the next day, and if we had time, we would write letters to people we loved back home.
Where were you stationed in boot camp?
There are only 2 boot camps for the Marine Corps. One is Parris Island, South Carolina. The other is San Diego, California, and I was stationed in San Diego.
What was your favorite country you visited and why?
The favorite country that I visited was Korea. We went on a 8-week detachment to Korea in the winter, and we lived in what's called GP tents, which was about a 10 or 12 man tent. But the people were extremely friendly.
What was your favorite weapon to train with?
Well, I did handle a lot of weapons. We handled a large variety, but my favorite was an M16, which people now would commonly call AR-15.
What sort of shape did you have to be in to be an active Marine?
Well, you had to be in pretty good shape. We had to do physical fitness tests twice a year, so you had to stay in shape for those. But, if you wanted to be active and pursue certain things in the Corps, then you had to be in pretty good shape. You had to be able to run, 3 miles without getting winded. You had to be able to do X amount of push-ups, X amount of pull-ups. It was physically demanding.
What makes you proud to be a Marine?
Marines are considered the first to fight. So that carries a lot of tradition, expectations, and just a lot of pride. I think any Marine, if they enjoyed their service, I think they're proud to have been a Marine, and to see the Marine Corps carry on that history and tradition still brings a lot of satisfaction, and that's why.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. My name is Mark Rector, and I am a Marine. Hoorah!
Thank you, Grandpa, for your time. As you can see, it's quite tough. Before going to boot camp, you need to train yourself mentally and physically to prepare for the training. Now, if you still want to do it, you should study on what to do and what to expect so you can practice it.
What's up, sir?
Done.
hope you enjoyed, and maybe one day you'll become a Marine.
Hi, I'm Addie S., and my driving question is, what do you need to be successful on the different ETELS levels? I love cheer, and I have done it all my life, and it takes great determination and grit. Okay, there are 5 teams on ETELS, Bling, Rubies, Onyx, Pearls, and Diamonds. Bling is the lowest level where you do back walkovers. Rubies is back handsprings with the back walkovers. Onyx, which is the level I have been on, it does back tucks with the rest of the stuff. Pearls, you have to be able to do a standing tuck, and you have to be able to do a running lap and a whip. And Diamonds, you have to be able to do a full and standing two back handsprings to your layout, which on my poster board it says all this stuff. Injuries. You can get serious injuries from cheer, even death. Statistics show that approximately 66% of all catastrophic injuries in either high school or college female athletes occur due to cheerleading accidents. Cheerleading has resulted in 1 death per year on average. From 1991 to 2015, the annual cheerleading injury rate almost doubled from 2001 to 2012. Grit and determination. Grit and determination. Cheer takes great determination and grit if you want to be successful. In cheer, you will most likely get hurt. I broke my arm and I was scared to tumble again for 3 to 4 years. But one day at the gym, I kind of just went and tried to do it again, and I landed. I haven't been scared to do it since then. My sister also broke her arm, but it was really bad. A piece of her bone fell off her arm, and she is okay now, but that's just one of her injuries. She's had multiple. But she got back up and still does cheer, and she is not afraid. She still throws her tumbling very easily. So this is just like a thing of me like almost killing myself, or like because I keep falling. That's me breaking my arm. That's the video of me actually breaking my arm. And it takes determination, grit to do cheer. You will fall and you can get back up. If you get back up, you will do good. And that's all. And that was my coach saying very good. You have to be able to dance. One part of the routine is dance. The counts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then it repeats over and over again. On stunts, usually we just count the odds like 1, 3, 5, 7, and then you repeat it. Okay, choreography. Even though it's only a 2-minute, 30-second routine, choreography usually takes 3 to 4 days, 4 hours each day. So you can tell it's a lot. You can usually bring snacks and drink if you get hungry. You now think differently about cheer, and that it is not all just jump around and dance. Have a great day.
Hi, my name is Abigail, and my presentation is about how we can save and protect horses, and this interested me because I rode a horse back in October, and I have a few pictures that I want to show. Back in October, riding horses, that girl in the purple jacket, that is me riding a horse. And then my brother and my sister are over here. I learned that horses are very defensive if you get too close to them, and they're big creatures. They don't like to be messed with, and they like to be trained. I have some examples. I got my horse cloche and my horse toy that I'm going to be passing after the bucket I have. I'm going to play bucket, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. You can either blurt out or raise your hand. What do horses eat? Eliana? That is correct. What do you need to do to keep a horse's stall clean every day? Tyson?
Brush it out.
Yes. Do you either need to groom the horse or bathe the horse? You can either choose both or one. Markham?
Both.
That is correct. What do you need to do to keep a horse's hoof clean? Tegan?
You get those little things that like
Hoof pickers?
Yeah, those. And then you get out all the stuff.
That is correct. Last question before we play the bucket. What do horses need to do to be safe?
Stay inside their fence.
That is correct. Thank you for joining me, and this was my Genius Hour.
My Genius Hour is on optical illusions. My driving question is, what are optical illusions? They are something that deceives the eye by appearing to be other than it is. Behind me are some illusions that look like they are bent the way they are not. One important fact that you need to know about optical illusions is who made them. Well, his name is Epicurus. I didn't find that much out about him. Didn't keep that many records on people in 450 BC. What do you see? An old lady or a young lady?
Young lady.
An old lady.
A young.
Young lady.
Well, here's the nose of the old lady and the mouth of the old lady.
Oh my gosh! I see you.
And then it's the same way with that one, except for the ear is the eye.
Oh my god.
One other question is, who is one of the biggest illusion artists of the present day? This is one of his illusions. He paints rooms to look like illusions. And his name is Peter Kogler. Here's some other examples of illusions. When you look at this one in the middle, the blank spot that goes around fills in, your mind fills in the blank by putting in a colored spot in it. And then this one, whenever it changes, the red dot right there, if you just stare at it for like 10 seconds, the buildings change their color.
That freaked me out.
Next slide. This is one of the oldest optical illusion I could find, the rabbit duck. What do you see?
The duck and the rabbit. I see both because the duck's right there and the rabbit has turned her head that way.
This is the beak of the duck, the eye, and the back hair. And then the ears of the rabbit, the eye, and the mouth.
Oh.
Yes, I can barely see it too.
I have this illusion, this thing I found in a People's magazine where it's actually an illusion for Skittles. Where one way it's an old lady, the other way it's an old man.
Whoa.
What? Oh!
That's it.
Thank you, Jackson!
You had fun learning about optical illusions as I did.
Hi, my name is Landon and I've chosen to do What Is It Like to Have a Great Day because I have a big day. Now, let's get started. Well, if you're afraid of these huge dogs hurting children, don't, because they are known as gentle giants because they are also gentle and huge. They can range in size from 30 inches for a male Great Dane. The puppy may eat 8 to 10 pounds of premium dog food. The adult Great Dane eats between 2 to 6 cups of food a day. Today we'll be watching a video of fun facts about Great Danes.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. To start with, for number one, even though they're called Great Danes, they're actually not from Denmark. The breed actually originated in Germany, and that leads us to our second fun fact here. Great Danes are actually the national dog of Germany. In 1876, they were actually named the official dog of the country. They also changed the name to Deutsch Doggy, hope I'm pronouncing that right, and banned all other names from use. For our third fun fact, Great Danes were actually originally used for boar hunting. They combined multiple breeds to create the perfect boar hunting dog.
Great Dane was banned in Germany. They changed it to Deutsche Dog, which means German Mastiff. However, the breed continues to be called German in English-speaking countries. Despite their size, they become popular among city dwellers who keep them to guard against robbers. They will guard their homes. They can also be taller than most people. You can visit the website, Rocky's website, to save the Great Danes that have been put in shelters because of their size and how big they are. You can donate to their website. So I hope you enjoyed my research about these dogs and you enjoy seeing these huge giants when they appear, and I hope you visit the website to donate. Now let's play Polluting.
And I will be presenting the top 3 deadliest spiders. Number 1 is the brown Mcloose spider. The brown Mcloose spider is usually about 1/4 of an inch in length. The brown Mcloose is found in Kentucky and much of the Midwest, and it is sometimes referred as to the violin or fiddleback spider because of its violin-shaped marking. Although the brown Mcloose spider bites are rare, the venom can sometimes cause serious wounds, and infestation should be taken seriously. These spiders' venom contain a toxin that kills skin, sometimes leaving an open wound as large as a human hand. Next, we have the Brazilian wandering spider. The Brazilian wandering spiders are large, with bodies reaching up to 2 inches and leg spans reaching 6 inches. According to the Conservation Institute, the species vary in color, though they are all hairy, mostly brown, and may have a black spot on their bellies. These arachnids are called wandering spiders because they do not build webs, but wander on the forest floor at night, actively hunting for prey. They spend most of their days hiding under lava or in crevices, and some come out to hunt at night. They eat insects, other spiders, and sometimes small amphibians, reptiles, and mice. And the bite. Within 30 minutes or so, these symptoms become synthetic and include irregular heartbeat, high or low blood pressure, abdominal cramping, hypothermia, nausea, vertigo, blurred vision, and convulsions. The yellow sac spider is relatively small, approximately 1/4 of an inch. It is one of the few spiders in North America that are considered medically significant. The yellow sac spider is constructed silken tube or sac in a protected area, such as within a leaf, under a landscape, timbers, or logs. And they use this sac as their daytime retreat. The bite is painless, with symptoms developing about 2 to 8 hours after the bite. It starts by resembling a mosquito sting, becoming more painful and swollen. It eventually turns into a large surface lesion, up to 10 centimeters, that will require medical attention. You have gone through a lot of terrifying details of these super deadly spiders. I hope you are scared of these and are be wary on your next trip near these spiders.
I'm going to teach you about wolves, and after that we're going to do cahoots, so you better listen carefully. Wolves are carnivores and usually eat large animals like deer, elk, mice, and moose. Sometimes they will eat small animals like beavers, rodents, and hares. Adult wolves can eat 20 pounds of meat. Wolf communications communicate through their body language. They usually scent, barks, growling, howling, and sometimes using their mouths to greet each other. A wolf's height is 27 feet tall, and a female wolf's mass is 1,500 to 120 pounds. A male wolf's mass is 100 pounds, and a baby wolf's weight is 1 pound, and a wolf's length is 39 to 6.6, and a wolf's lifespan in captivity is 13 years old, or usually 6 to 8. Wolves have been around for a long time. Wolves are also not just predators, they also are prey. Predators like bears, polar bears, tigers, and humans hunt wolves. Wolf species. There are 7 wolf species, like the common gray wolf and other wolf species, and the red wolf. There's European wolves, the Arctic wolf, and the Indian wolf, and the Himalayan wolf, and the eastern wolf. A wolf pack can range to 3 to 20 wolves. The pack are an alpha male and a female. Fun fact, did you know the wolves have 42 teeth and their bite force is around 40 pounds? A wolf's speed is 31 to 37 miles per hour running. When a pup is born, they are blind and deaf, but they do have their sense of smell. We're going to watch a video that'll learn us a little bit about wolves.
Their location to pack members and even show their affection. Wolves may also howl to nearby rivals to claim their territory. Wolves nearly became extinct in the continental United States. Throughout the early history of the U.S., waves of settlers traveled into the young country's then undeveloped West. Rising human populations and settlements nearly wiped out deer, elk, and bison populations, prey normally hunted by wolves. Without their usual prey, wolves then resorted to hunting livestock, making the canines targets for hunters and trappers. By the mid-1930s, wolves were almost completely exterminated. The late 20th century began to bring about change for wolves. Conservation policies, efforts to educate the public, and programs that reintroduced wolves into the wild were enacted, aiding the comeback of these legendary creatures.
Hope you enjoyed all those facts about wolves, and I hope you had fun. Thank you for listening.
Hi class, I'm Jonathan. My leading question for Genius Hour was, what was it like in the military? And by military, I mean all branches such as the Navy, Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, and the Coast Guard. This interested me because a lot of my family members were in the military. These are the logos of the branches of the military. This is the Navy. This is the Marine Corps, this is the Air Force, this is the Coast Guard, and this is the Army. What does the military do in their free time? They can do sporting activities, outdoor recreation, music and theater programs, arts and crafts shops, tour and travel offices, and libraries. What vehicles does the military use? One of the vehicles that the military uses, specifically the Night Stalkers in the military, one vehicle they use is the MH-60 Blackhawk. It carries special forces and supplies into enemy territory. Another vehicle the military uses is the MH-47 Chinook. This is another helicopter they use. It moves troops and heavy equipment, and is also an attack helicopter for the Night Stalkers. What is a day like in the military? In a normal day of the military for an active duty soldier consists of performing physical training, work within their military occupational specialty, and basic soldier skills. Physical training consists of cardiovascular exercises as well as strength training. MOS is the job a soldier performs on a daily basis. You may be wondering, what are some of the benefits of joining the military? Well, these are some of the benefits of joining the military. When joining the military, some of the benefits are 30 days of paid vacation per year, tax-free room and board, health, dental, and life insurance coverage. What types of weapons does the military use? You may be wondering, what types of weapons does the military use? Well, some of the weapons that the military uses are the M4 and M4A1 carbine. The M4 carbine is the standard weapon for bridge combat. What was it like in basic training? You have very little sleep and having to learn stuff like how to use combat underwater. The top left is my great uncle Jerry. The top right is my uncle Rick. And then in the middle is my grandfather Ted. And then in the top left is my great uncle Sean. The top right is my uncle Ferlin and his award. And then the bottom left is my grandfather Raymond. And then the top right is my grandma Robin. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you know more about what these brave men and women have done and gone through for us. We salute all the brave military men and women.
Hello, my name is Armina, and my Genius Hour question is, how does plastic pollution affect marine life? What inspired me to do my Genius Hour is my love for animals. I have a video on how plastic pollution can affect animals and the ocean. About how we need to stop the plastic pollution, for good.
Life. An abundant ocean can feed 1 billion people a healthy meal every day forever. But now they are being killed by throwaway plastics. The equivalent of 1 garbage truck of plastic is dumped in the sea every minute. 17.6 billion pounds every year. Plastic is everywhere in our ocean, floating on the surface, mixing in the salt water, and sitting on the ocean bottom, miles and miles deep. And once in the ocean, it never goes away. Over hundreds of years, it breaks down into small pieces. But those pieces, even the tiny ones called microplastics, are still plastic.
As you can see, ocean pollution does affect our ecosystem in every way. It affects the food we eat because plastics are found in everything because of all the plastic pollution. Not only that, but the animals are ending up entangled and choking on the plastics that we throw into the ocean. Seabirds can ingest plastic. Seabirds are used to eating octopuses, crabs, and other red things. They can't always tell what they're eating, so they end up eating the plastics that are found on the beach. Rings of plastic can be found entangled on the sea turtle shell. If the turtle is young, then the shell can misshape or deform itself. Also, sharp plastics can rupture internal organs inside the turtle. The ocean will contain 937 million tons of plastic and 895 million tons of fish by 2050. That means there will be more plastic than fish in the ocean. Dolphins versus plastic bags. Every year we pollute the ocean with increasing amount of plastics, including plastic bags, plastic packagings, and plastic bottles. Whales and dolphins swallow plastic debris. How can we help? Anything you do can really help a lot, but I have 6 ways. We can stop polluting the ocean, we could clean up the mess that we've made. We can help animals get untangled from the nets and plastic in the ocean. We can stop dumping into the ocean completely. We can recycle our waste, plastic bottles, trash, and etc. We can use less plastic, stop dumping chemicals in the ocean. It's affecting humans too. We can change the earth, and we can stop polluting the ocean.
And there are the pictures.
Thank you for listening to my Genius Hour. I hope it's informed you of all the things that plastic bottles are doing to our environment.